In Vermont, Gilgamesh, a hero's journey between humans and gods opening, Uruk and the king born different. In the valley between the rivers Tigris and Euphrates stood a magnificent city, Uruk. In this city rose the temple of the goddess Inanna, and its great stone and mud brick walls reached the sky. There reigned Gilgamesh, the most powerful king spoken of in ancient texts. He was like no other, 2/3 god, 1/3 human. His hair was thick, his arms strong, and his wisdom was rare. But despite his greatness, Gilgamesh ruled harshly. The people of Uruk complained, "He is mighty but blind to our pain." Whispers of sorrow and anger echoed through the alleys at night. Mothers wept, fathers sighed. Why was a king born of gods yet forgot the hearts of men? The gods heard their plea and created for the man a companion. Enkidu, the wild man who became a true friend. In the far wilderness, among silent beasts and roaming gazelles, Enkidu was formed. A wild man, covered in hair, drinking from springs, living among animals. He knew nothing of people, wore no clothes, spoke no words. One day, a hunter saw him and ran back to the city in fear. So a wise and gentle woman was sent to him. She taught him touch, language, and feeling. Slowly, Enkidu changed. He learned compassion, connection, and began to think like a man. When he reached Uruk, he confronted Gilgamesh. They fought a mighty battle. The streets trembled, children hid, but the battle ended not in victory but in an embrace. From that moment they were inseparable. The cedar forest, their first trial, Gilgamesh and Enkidu decided to set off on a journey to be remembered. The cedar forest, a sacred place, was guarded by a terrifying demon named Humbaba. The elders of Uruk warned, "The forest is not for kings but for gods." But Gilgamesh desired glory. Enkidu hesitated but stayed loyal. They crossed rivers and mountains together. At night, Gilgamesh dreamt strange dreams, saw falling trees, angry skies, an eagle carrying him. Enkidu interpreted them as good omens, but worry lingered. They reached the forest and fought Humbaba. Humbaba was no ordinary guardian. He was a fearsome creature with the face of a dragon, the voice of a storm, blazing breath, and lightning-quick legs. His face held 7 terrors, and his gaze froze men in place. The forest quaked as he neared, and the trees bent in his wake. After a fierce battle, they defeated him and stole cedar wood to build Uruk's gates. But the gods were furious. The forest was sacred. They returned to Uruk crowned in glory, but glory like cedar cannot stand against the wrath of gods. Ishtar and the bull, the beginning of the end. When Ishtar, the great goddess, saw Gilgamesh crowned in fame, she offered him marriage. Gilgamesh replied proudly, "What happened to those you once loved?" One became a wolf, another turned to stone, another a bat. Ishtar was enraged. She asked the gods to send the bull of Havana, a celestial beast that trampled the earth. Gilgamesh and Enkidu fought. Itan triumphed, but this time, the line had been crossed. The gods declared punishment. Enkidu would die. Death, dreams, and a broken heart. Enkidu grew ill. On his bed he cursed the day he was born, the forest he fought in, and the gate he passed. But he also remembered his friend and blessed the moment they met. He died, and Gilgamesh was shattered. He wept, donned animal skins, and cried out in the desert, "If my friend has died, I too shall die. No kingdom, no power if life is brief. Rise, my friend, we have not yet finished building the gate. Rise, my brother, who will now interpret my dreams?" A quest for immortality. He met wise people, passed through gates guarded by scorpion-bodied sentinels, and crossed a 12-hour tunnel of darkness. He heard advice. Live, eat, rejoice, for that is true life. But Gilgamesh would not yield. He met Utnapishtim, the man who survived the Great Flood. Utnapishtim told of the Ark, of salvation, of the secret the gods gave him alone, eternal life. But Gilgamesh would not receive it. He only managed to find a magical plant that restored youth, but while he bathed in a river, a snake stole it away. All that remained was understanding, the return home, and an eternal realization. Gilgamesh returned to Uruk. He climbed the walls he had built in his youth, and looked upon his city. Children ran in the marketplace. Adults planted trees. The temple of Inanna gleamed in the sun. He understood what builds a city, a people that is eternity. He realized immortality is not a man's legacy. It is what he leaves in the hearts of others. Summary for young viewers. Gilgamesh was a king, stronger than all, but only through loss. He became truly human. Enkidu taught him that friendship is power and death a teacher. The epic reminds us, we won't conquer time, but we can choose what we leave behind.